Welcome to the Witching Hour Podcast, your home for horror. Keep it evil.
Boys and girls, welcome back to the Witching Hour Podcast. I am your host, John Royceland. I apologize for that as always. But joining me tonight, very, very special guest, new friend. I know you've seen all the advertisement, all the talk about his newest film, Ketchup on Waffles, Mr. John Theissen Jr. Mr. Theissen Jr., welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John. I'm thrilled to talk to you about my fucked up little project here today.
So, and
Yeah.
since you put it that way, why Ketchup on Waffles? Why
Well,
this? Why this movie?
well, well, it comes from a pretty dark place. I think, over the past like 20, 30 years, we've seen a rise in like mass casualty events and the youth being influenced by really terrible personalities online. And so I wanted to make a film that kind of showcases that. And also something, that I've always been, afraid of is kind of like crowded spaces and everything like that. And so that's something that I really wanted to emphasize and to express. And I think, with all that in mind, I think like, there is a trend of our comforts being disturbed with all these different events and horrible instances that have happened in our country. And so it was important for me to make this film. I felt like this was something that was a long time coming for me. So yeah. Yeah, so that's why ketchup on waffles, and it's also why the title. It comforts your it disturbs your comfort.
Right.
Um, so yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you had named the film Anxiety, it would have nailed it on the head too. I mean, from the absolute start of this film, it kind of held me for the longest. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Right.
I don't want to give any. I mean, I don't want you to even talk about the movie just because I don't want to give anything away. But
Okay.
obviously, we still have to discuss parts of the film.
Right. Yeah.
But early on in the movie, you see our assailants talking, just hanging out, bullshitting, and um, who then becomes Mr. Blue, or not
Hmm.
Mr. Blue, but the Blue,
Yeah.
mentions a story that happened. Here it is. I'm not going to give it away, but mentions a
Oh yeah.
story that happens when he was. I don't want to say if it was on vacation, but for whatever reason, he was in Mexico walking
Hmm.
down the street and witnesses something.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
moment, I went from having anxiety of not knowing what was going to happen to being, oh, fuck, no.
Yeah.
I was waiting, and I'm glad. I thank you. I sincerely thank you for not going that far.
Yeah, it was important that I didn't go that far because I didn't want to, have too much to take away from what I was trying to express here. And like, I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of people have kind of got the got like kind of the idea that this was going to be like something like a Terrifier or something like overly gory.
Right.
I To clarify, I love Terrifier, but but like, it's something that isn't really, graphic in the sense of that.
Right.
And if I did go that far, and if I did go to those places where I wanted to be like, overly graphic with the violence, we would have lost the message a little bit, I think.
Sure.
And I think that moment, that story where the blue is telling the red, that story of his time down in Mexico, that really establishes who these characters are and their
Oh, true.
dynamic. Yeah,
And
yeah,
especially because of Red's response
yeah. Yeah.
was another, I guess maybe that was the main reason why, because his response was like, oh, oh no, no, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
ready. I've come close in certain other films where
Mhm.
they've gone dark and they've gone
Right.
very, very graphic to the point where it's like I don't even want to watch this. even though knowing it's just a movie, it's just
Yeah.
a movie, but there's just some parts that even I won't watch.
Hmm.
No, going into it, if I know it's there, I'm probably going to pass on your film completely.
Yep. Yep.
Found footage films always put me on edge just because the reality of it being somebody's handheld camera that they found in a Foot Locker in their room of
Yeah.
them killing somebody or a crime. You just never know. And you look at society today and you watch YouTube and or even just reels that other people post that are being getting massive views are
Hmm.
all violent.
Yeah, yep. And
All of them.
there is a level of just uneasiness when you're like looking at that like found footage or any found footage movie because it feels so raw in the sense that like it's somebody just holding a camera up to this violence. And you know, like my generation, we grew up on like the live leak and things like that. Like live leak was like a big thing where you would see like somebody dying in a factory incident and it was like posted online. And so like I think like when we were filming that like found footage stuff, I wanted something to kind of convey that disturbingness and like I wanted it to look and feel raw in the moment. Like there's the one moment with the asthma attack, like that,
Mhm.
and that was all shot found footage, and that felt like something you would see online, like a
Sure.
death you would see online. But yeah, it's that like getting back to what we were saying, like it was like very important to me to not go to the extremes of that. Like I wasn't looking to make the next Dare to Watch film, you
Right.
know. Like I wasn't looking to make the next Serbian film, the next any of those movies, but I wanted to make something different on its own, like something completely different entirely. Yeah.
So with that being said, and you did, and
Oh,
congratulations
thank you, man.
because I watched your response video to bad reviews. And
Hmm.
I absolutely loved it. And I admire you for doing that and doing it with a
Yeah.
smile. And you were right in saying, but you guys still watched it. And
Yeah.
thank you for supporting indie film. I tip my hat to you for that. But do you think too many people are going into it expecting it to be extreme gore, extreme violence?
Oh yeah, I think there are a lot of people that expect that. And I over the past like year and a half, I would get DMs from the craziest profiles
Mm,
asking about where and when this movie is. And like it would be like profiles where the profile picture is of like, some actual graphic CCTV like footage or like, like I would get like people from like all corners of the dark, hitting me up asking me about this movie.
anxiously
Um,
waiting for it.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so like, it really is fitting to see like those individuals being disappointed by by some of like, not really going to those places like you mentioned
Hmm.
because, the movie is really like the bad guys of the movie are incels. They are like the losers and the people who are influenced by toxic personalities online. Like they're misguided youth.
Right.
And like I see like so many like after it blew up online and I'm thankful as I am for all the influencers that really blew up this film and talked about it online. There were all those people that kind of flooded to this film thinking that it was going to be
Sure.
as disturbing and be that next Dare to Watch film, but no, that's not the case.
I don't want you to take away the word disturbing. It
It
is.
is, yeah, no,
It
it
is.
definitely
It
is,
is.
yeah,
No, it is.
yeah.
Boys and girls going into this film. All right, so we have it right now. Filmmaker and co-star of the film, um, openly admitting it is not extreme graphic. It is not extreme gore. There is
Mhm.
gore in the film. There is violence. Hands
Yes.
down, there is violence in the film. It is a fucked up movie. That is the disturbing part of this film. Based on the reality of, like you said, it happens every day, which
Yeah.
coincidentally, whether this was your plan or not, the color coding on the masks,
Hmm.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely
great, man.
perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, it is. It's a whole, and even if you watch each character, each color, the breakdown in society
Hmm.
between each character, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
perfect.
thanks, man. Thank you.
I'm really, really hoping that the people of the world, people of America see this and understand
Mhm.
that because I'm sorry, folks, this film holds so many truths if you learn to read between the lines. And there are three major Easter eggs in this film. One is red, one is white, one is blue.
Mhm.
Figure it out
Yeah.
because it is brilliantly displayed right in front of us.
Oh, man, thanks.
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
congratulations with that. Seriously.
Yeah,
By the time the film was over,
yeah.
I think I came a little bit, honestly.
Yeah. That's concerning, John. No, but yeah,
Hey, at
like,
my age, I'm so glad I'm doing that.
um no, but yeah, that means a lot coming from you. Like, the masks were like a really big part of the characters, and kind of bringing the story to life. Like, I really started when I started like writing this film, the first thing that I had to figure out was who these characters were,
Hmm.
and I was going to represent them with the masks. Like, I had plenty of ideas, and the masks were going to be those characters. So, I was thinking, oh, we could go this route with animal masks, and I'm like, how many fucking movies have done animal masks before,
Right.
And then I was looking and I was like, you know what? These characters, they're youthful, they're amateur, and they're probably not they probably don't have a whole lot of money. So I found these masks, I found these ski masks online, and I was like, this is it.
As
This
soon
is
as
it.
you saw it, you
They're
knew, didn't
yeah,
you?
yeah,
Yeah.
and like with being so minimalistic, there is a sense of like unease to the mass itself.
Right.
You look at these masks, and like it not being overly complicated is so uneasy. Like, something that I always draw comparisons to. You ever see Fire in the Sky, the alien abduction
Sure.
movie?
Of course.
So those aliens are probably the scariest aliens that I've seen in film.
That's a
But they're
scary ass film.
Yeah, yeah, but
That
they're
scene,
not.
especially. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not too
No.
overly designed,
No.
you know?
Very
And so,
simplistic.
yeah, and that's where I came with this like conclusion where I'm like, okay, these masks are a
Hmm.
lot scarier than something, going too crazy.
I admit,
And,
I agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Because
and
I
you
was
could
actually going to
go,
say, I've
yeah.
never actually seen a mask quite like that.
Hmm.
Just a regular ski mask, it just holes
Yeah,
in the mouth. The shape of it, the form of it, it was
yeah,
you.
it,
I
it
mean, you were meant to find those three masks.
yeah, it was very weird. And I take a lot of inspiration from European cinema, and in a way, I can't really perfectly describe it, but those masks feel very European in a
Okay.
sense. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
So
it feels very French. I don't know.
the
But
well,
that's
the
my own takeaway.
hey, the film. I know I'd heard of the film for quite a while
Hmm.
because it's technically it's 2 years old now.
Yeah. I mean, we filmed this back in 2023, so 3 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 3 years.
Yeah.
So why so long to release it, if I may? Just
So,
distribution or finding the right venue?
yeah. So, I mean, we had to go to the festival circuit. So, there's a time of like, and I'm the only one that was doing anything. Like, I was,
Sure.
the only editor, I was DP, I was director, I was
Yeah,
composing and everything.
right.
So, you got to take that into account. And also, a lot of times when you're submitting to film festivals, you got to wait. It's a waiting game
Right.
before, your film could get, shown at a film festival, because you submit it in July and then it gets shown in like December, at the festival.
If they even
If it gets
approve it.
accepted. Yeah,
If it's
exactly.
accepted, right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So it was kind of like a lot of waiting game. And then finally, when it went to LA, and it was shown at the Chinese Theater off Hollywood Boulevard. It had, it had some
Nice.
crazy reactions. Yeah, it
All right.
had a lot of people walking out. We had a couple people having panic attacks. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I had one guy who halfway through the movie he smacked his laps stood up and pointed at the screen and went, "Fuck this movie," and ran out. Yeah.
Nice. You
Yep,
can't
yep.
buy publicity like that.
I know. And it was wild. We were having some wild reactions, and we won an award at that festival, and then like a week later, an influencer hit me up regarding it, and he saw the movie and it blew up. And so you would think that you would have distributors being like, "Yes, let's take it,"
Right, right.
but a lot of these distributors, rightfully so, were scared to take this film.
I can see that.
Yeah,
What am I
they
going to do with this thing?
yeah, yep. And so I would get emails back saying, I don't think this is the right subject matter to tackle. But on the other hand, it's so relevant and it's so important that it needs to be,
Seen.
seen and it needs to be talked about. And
Yeah,
so my argument to them was like this movie is like, it calls for action
yeah.
pretty much. And I like, I would try to stress that to them, but of course, they were, like I said, they're scared, but I can understand why
Sure. I
to
mean,
take the film.
that's an investment to them, and they don't
Yeah.
want to obviously lose out because
Mhm.
they can't market it anywhere,
Yeah.
and I understand that. I do. So
Yeah.
you're running this through your own young fisherman films. That's you,
Mhm.
correct?
Yep, that's me and a few other people, my makeup artist Danny and my friend Rob who plays the blue.
Right, plays the blue. I was so that was going to be my next little question because doing a little bit of research on you, everybody, well, let's just say the assailants, all of you are all kind of filmmakers, so to speak.
Yeah.
So actors, filmmakers, and so forth. So did the three of you kind of grow up together, go to school together?
No, no, not at all. So I met Max, who plays the Red on a casting website. I was doing auditions, and there was auditions for all three of those characters, and all the leads were auditioned and everything. The only person that I grew up with was Rob, who
Oh,
played the
really?
Blue.
Okay.
And yeah, me and Rob were kind of dipshits in high school, like we were troublemakers. I went to summer school every year. I didn't give a shit about anything. I got in trouble a lot, but and Rob was kind of like, back and forth. So when he auditioned, it just felt so fitting that he would audition and he wanted to do this too.
Right.
And it was his first acting gig as well. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Shit.
yeah, so Rob Rob got the part, which was great. And then Ian as the White, I met him at a film festival and he wanted to do a horror movie. He stressed the fact that he really wanted to do a horror movie. And I was like, okay, so when I posted that I was casting, he was the first person to hit me up and so he auditioned for the White, among of other people who auditioned for the White, and there was a lot of great ones, and yeah, so Ian auditioned, and it was like 2 weeks, and I was still like making up my mind, and Ian was one of the finalists, and then all of a sudden I get a little email from Ian saying the white sauce is red. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's a link to a short film. And he made a short film of him cooking as the White. And at the end of the short film, he grabs his like a thing of tomato sauce, like a container of tomato sauce, and chugs it down. And so I was like, okay, I think this is the guy.
That's
Um,
devotion.
yeah, 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 yeah. And for like months when we were filming, the few months that we filmed, it was like over the span of 8 days, but we did like a lot of rehearsals and stuff. It almost felt like I didn't talk to Ian for like weeks on end. I was talking to the White,
Well,
and it was concerning. Yeah,
I mean, all right. So, my honest opinion, I mean, all right. So we've mentioned Ian, we mentioned Rob, mentioned Max.
yeah,
Obviously, and I please correct me if I'm wrong with this pronunciation.
yeah.
It's not Clarissa,
It's Zarissa. Yeah,
Zarissa. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Zarissa Moreno did a phenomenal job. Also,
Hmm.
um, obviously one of the lead characters in the film. My honest opinion, the star of the film is obviously Mr. White.
Hmm.
I keep calling him Mr. So my
It's cool. I
apologies.
like I like
I
Mr.
keep going back to Reservoir
That's
Dogs with
acceptable.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Completely acceptable.
so the white and if I might give this part away, probably the bottom half of your penis are probably the two main characters in the film.
Yeah.
Um, Ian as the White. I get sent indie films all the time to watch,
Right.
all screeners, and I
Hmm.
get acting of all kinds of talent, good, bad, or otherwise. Ian was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope he sees this. I hope he watches and appreciates what I'm saying. I know he's a young filmmaker, young
Yeah.
actor. He was so good. He scared me as how real he was. His
Yeah.
gestures, his movement, every single thing. And he had this dark, blackened eye when he had the mask on.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was just eerie how good he was. So, right choice, whether it was because he made the extra video and chugged the tomato sauce or
Yeah.
not, I don't know. But holy shit, I've never stopped a movie. I can't tell you what last Hollywood movie I
Mhm.
finished and said, holy shit, that whatever the actor was absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. He's wild. He's a wild man.
Ian was
I never
incredible.
Yeah, I never met an actor who was so collaborative,
Mhm.
and so so willing to try different things, and go crazy with the character and the material that he was given. There was one moment where we were filming, and I'm holding the camera and he's just going off. He's like rambling as the White, and it's scary. It
Right.
is fucking terrifying. And I'm so uncomfortable. Just out of nowhere, I said cut. And everybody looked at me and they're like, "Why'd you say cut?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." Like he completely unnerved me to the point where I just snapped and I was like, "Cut." Yeah.
He really became, and please, that is not to take anything away from Max or Rob or
No,
anybody else
no.
in the film.
Yeah.
Everyone was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Obviously, the White is the lead,
Yeah.
especially amongst the three assailants, and the
Of course.
lead of anybody else in the film,
Hmm.
and well deserving. Ian, congratulations. John, congratulations for
Oh,
having
thanks,
cast
man.
him
Yeah, thank
and the
you.
entire film itself. So, where does that leave us now? The film is currently streaming on
It's on Cranked Up.
Cranked Up.
And
Thank you.
yeah, it is on Cranked Up, and it's on Amazon. You can rent or buy on Amazon. You can rent or buy on Cranked Up too. If you don't, I don't think if you don't have a subscription, I think you could rent or buy it on Cranked Up as well. And June 9th, I think it's June 9th. It's gonna be on Tubi. It's gonna be available on Tubi too. So
Oh,
yeah.
that quick. Okay.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yep,
All
and
right. Well,
eventually physical media too,
okay.
and all that great stuff. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, so anybody that's wanting to buy a hard copy,
Hmm.
at what point and where would they reach out to you? Or to
Um,
whom would they
we're,
reach
we're
out to?
we're working on getting physical media done now. I will say this, that there is a director's cut, and it's my favorite version of the film. And it will be available in that physical media copy. So I'm
Autographed?
yeah, if you want, I'll send it to you, man.
I want
Yeah,
to be the
yeah.
first one
Yep.
sold.
All right.
I
All
want the
right. All
first
right.
one.
Cool. 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 So just hit me up and I'll send you one, my dude. Um, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, just be on the lookout for all of that. And yeah, yeah, Ketchup on Waffles. It was, it was a crazy experience. I was 23 years old when I directed it. I was 22 when I wrote it.
And you're
And
already an award winner.
yeah,
For those who do not realize or know anything about John previous to this, John is actually a film award winner for best actor and
yeah.
best horror movie
Yeah,
for
for Loving Polly. Yeah.
yes.
That yeah, for Loving Polly. That that was a film that I'm thinking about putting out to the public again. It was a very gratuitous and very violent film. I made it when I was 21. I gained a shitload of weight for it, and I yeah, that's actually the film festival that film went to is where I met Ian. So Loving
Okay.
Polly kind of was handed off with Ketchup on Waffles to Ketchup on Waffles, which was a crazy experience. But yeah, just maybe be on the lookout for that. Maybe I can't confirm anything. That film is in a weird limbo, and also we have the Punishment tapes coming out very soon, which is a great companion piece to Ketchup, which is almost like my response to the criticism and the difficulties of getting Ketchup distributed.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for the Punishment tapes too. That is a wild one as well.
So you are East Coast, you are Long
I'm Long
Island?
Island. Yeah.
You are
Yep.
Long Island. Okay,
Yep.
so I was right. Any chance you're going to be doing any of the convention circuits?
We'll
Vending.
see. We'll see. I haven't really had too much of those conversations yet, but I would love to. I would love to meet fans. I would love
Here,
to yeah, to sign some autographs if they
hey
want.
man, you will have
Yeah.
people walking in there with masks on. I
Oh,
promise you
Jesus
that.
Christ.
You know,
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
are you honestly, would you
Yeah.
honestly be ready for that? For that kind of
Um,
fandom?
no, no, that scares me. That fandom would scare me. Seeing
Okay.
somebody dressing up as the White would scare me because they're horrible people.
Yes, they are.
Um, something I told the cranked up guys. I'm like, listen, like, I didn't make this to make Spirit Halloween costumes. Like these guys aren't Spirit Halloween costumes. These are fucked up people. But listen, if you want, I'm not gonna, say fuck you. Just be aware of who you're dressing up as.
Right.
Um, but yeah, 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 yeah,
So what's next? I mean, you're a filmmaker, you're young. You
yeah.
obviously you're not taking a break.
Young, dumb, and full of,
There it is, right.
yeah, so yeah, the punishment tapes, be on the lookout for that. That's what's next. That's like an extended short film. It's about 42 minutes.
Okay.
That's a film I'm very proud of. It's a very personal film. Like I said, it feels like a response to Catch Up. And then I have like a shit ton of screenplays I want to get made. I have this one screenplay, Double Dog Dare. It is just really fucked up. I was told by somebody who I recently told about the film that it would probably get blacklisted from Hollywood. It goes to the play it goes there in a lot of crazy places, but I think people would really love that if that
I
ever
mean,
gets
that's
made.
something to kind of be proud of nowadays too.
Yeah. Yep, yep. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, a young filmmaker to be able to come right out of the box and be
Yeah.
able to fucking destroy Hollywood. Dude, I'm
Yeah.
already a fan of that. I
Oh,
mean,
thanks.
shit.
Yeah, yeah, man.
So you grew up making films
Hmm.
or scenes of like your favorite movies
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
home camcorders and stuff like that. What
Hmm.
scenes or what movies were you reenacting?
Oh,
And
Godzilla. I'm
Godzilla?
I'm
Okay.
a big Godzilla fan.
Okay.
I would, I would kill to make a Godzilla movie. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I got my boy G-Man tatted
Oh,
right
there you
here.
go. Okay.
Um, but yeah, yeah, the first time I was ever disturbed by a movie was watching Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and that was the first time I ever saw Godzilla like bleed.
Right.
And so yeah, I would, build up like big Lego cities and like have these Godzilla toys and like film them like, taking them down, like building
Uh,
up little miniature cities and stuff. So yeah, I mean, growing up, my dad introduced me to like Godzilla movies, and I would like watch that, and then like I kind of evolved into like a lot of the Universal horror films, the Hammer films.
mhm.
And then when I was like in my teens, my friends and I would have like sleepovers and we'd be like, "Oh, tonight we got to watch Human Centipede 2." Or like, um but yeah, yeah, I was always big into films, and I once like read that like maybe it was like Tarantino who said it or somebody, but they would like just write a scene that you remember from a film, and I would always do that as like kind of like an exercise.
Mhm.
um but I never really saw it as a possibility until high school, where I took like a film class, and that film class like really showed me that I was like, okay, I could do this. Like for a long time, I was kind of like set on just joining up with the Marines, or joining any armed service, or something like that. But then when when I took that film class and I made like a high school movie, and and I've made a bunch of like movies you could probably find on like YouTube somewhere, like deep YouTube from like the 2010s. Yeah, and that's when I really saw it as a possibility. And over the years, it just got darker and darker, and here we are.
Man, I'm so envious that you got to go to a school that offered film because, man, I mean,
Yeah.
mine was auto mechanics, nursing, and like farm equipment and shit.
Yeah,
So,
it's
um,
crazy. It's really unheard of. Like I didn't go to film school because I realized like and I got accepted into a film school, but I never went
right,
because I realized everything that I learned in that everything I was going to learn in film school, I already learned in like the 2 year courses that I had in high school of film. So
right.
I was just like, what would I be doing? So I just kind of just went straight for it and it was just like, fuck it.
So let me ask, do you have a Monday through Friday?
Dude, no, I don't. I mean, I everything is like kind of freelance and just working on film and stuff like that.
Okay.
This whole movie, Ketchup on Waffles, was completely funded out of my pocket.
Wow,
It was
nice.
yeah, it was completely out of pocket. I didn't like go to investors, and I think that was kind of for the better in the long run
Hmm.
because I don't have to owe money to investors or owe money to anybody that like a sales agent. Like I just did everything myself. Like
Right.
and I think that was my best bet was just to do out of pocket. And so if you could do that, like calling out to all filmmakers, if you could do that, that's probably your best bet is to just make something with what you had. Like I made this movie with like broken ass equipment. Like I didn't have like FX whatever. Like I didn't have this kind of audio thing or that. I was just buying shit off of Amazon and hoping for the best some days.
Well, speaking of funding on your own, I got to ask because I am East Coast, so I know all about a good diner.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know too many good diners, at least that close ever.
hmm
How did you guys get the use of a diner overnight?
So it was crazy. I've been going to that diner for years and years and years and years.
Okay.
My dad would he would take me to that diner before school every morning or whatever. And I went to that diner first and I was like, "Hey, listen to the diner," or I was like, "Hey, listen, Jerry, you know, I want to make a movie. I think this would be a great spot." He goes, I don't know. He's like cautious. He's like, your other shit's kind of dark, you know?
Right.
Like I don't want to associate this or that. I was like, all right, don't worry about it. I was like, just keep me in mind. Just let me know if you're willing to do this. So I had to look for other options, and I was going to like more inactive diners, like calling up inactive diners, like the whoever owned the property, and got turned down from every diner in New York. Um, Finally, I get a call from the diner that I went to initially, Sunrise Diner in Wantagh, New York, and they were like, "You could do it here. You just have to pay a guy to kind of babysit you guys while
Right.
you're filming." And that's how we landed it. And it's a great diner. That the guy who babysitted us, who kind of supervised the diner, those like nights that we shot in the diner, he's seen some shit.
Oh, I
Like,
can imagine.
yeah. I told the diner, he's like, I told the diner owner, I was like, this one's not too bad. This one's not too violent. It's not too bad. And then one of the nights I get there and he was there and he goes, "Oh, so I heard you lost your dick last night." I was like, "Yeah, Jerry, yeah, sorry." And he goes, "All right, whatever." But he was great. He's a great guy. That diner's awesome. If you're ever on Long Island, definitely visit Sunrise Diner off of Sunrise Highway. It is awesome. Fresh food, great food.
I love a good diner. Oh my God,
Yeah,
there's nothing
yeah,
better.
man. It
So how
really
many
is.
how many days of shooting, or I should say, how many nights of shooting did it take you to finish at least just the diner?
So it took us 4 to 5 nights of shooting. And it's an active diner.
Right.
So we would have to get there 11 o'clock when it closed and then finish at 5 a.m. And so from 5 a.m. to 5:30, we would have to clean it up as much
Sure.
as we can, wipe off the blood, whatever.
Right.
And then at 6 o'clock, the diner was open and it was active, and we just did that every night.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was really, really wild experience. I mean, I at the end of every night I would just I would just literally fall in my bed and curl up into a ball and scream into my pillow. But it was great. It was great. I think it definitely made me more, like being a young filmmaker, being 23 at the time, it made me more, uh, ready for, just the overwhelmingness of being on set. And I've worked on sets prior, but like to really run a set like that and,
Right.
not, being the director, being the producer, being the even down to the caterer, the DP, whatever. It was so overwhelming,
Sure.
But I couldn't afford a crew. I couldn't really afford a crew, so
So out of pocket, do you mind me asking
yeah, no.
how much to make your
Uh,
movie?
well, so it's complicated because it was like 10 grand to 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 do everything with production, and then after, like with distribution and the cost of deliverables and everything like that, it bumps it up to another like
Right.
3 to 4 grand. But like honestly, if I got, like I said, if I got an investor, it would be a lot more.
Sure.
And a lot of these distributors, they don't give out MGs, which is a minimum guarantee anymore. So,
Right.
especially
Right.
for a movie like this,
Right.
um,
Right.
so yeah, I definitely saved myself. But with that being said, you can make a film for a lot less and still be effective. Like I think you reviewed The Killing Cell earlier,
I
and
did. Thank you.
yeah,
I did.
The Killing Cell is a great movie, and it's
Yeah.
like one of those movies that like, is super effective. And I think like it doesn't have too much around it in terms of like cast and crew. And I think Carson, I think his name was,
And
he's
they're actually going to be on the show here
oh,
coming up
oh,
real
very
soon
cool. Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was 23 when he made that as well. So like I could definitely empathize with like his situations and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, you gotta really, if you're gonna do this, you gotta really commit to it. And you
Sure.
gotta, it's hard. It's a tough business, but with that being said, you can't be discouraged by anything. You just gotta keep going.
See,
Yeah.
God damn you. I've been sitting on a script that I wrote for like 4 fucking years now. And every time I think I'm getting ready to tell you that next step, I was like, nope, not now.
Just fucking do it, man.
Yeah,
You
but
just gotta
that's the
do it.
one thing I've always
Yeah.
been told, just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Listen, boys and girls, I hate to wrap this up, but we are down to our last minute and change. John Theissen Jr., I cannot thank you enough for
No, man.
joining me.
Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
boys and girls, ketchup and waffle. Um, just fucking watch the movie. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Just watch the movie. It's not your cup of tea. Just watch it, get through it, look back and understand it. Try to look at the vision this man gave to all of us because it's perfect.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely
Thanks so
perfect.
much.
John, thank you so much for joining us. Boys and
Yep.
girls, the Witching Hour podcast. We've got some more great shows coming up for you guys really soon. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, please don't ever forget to keep it evil. See you guys.